right now. Good evening, Metal Faithful. This is the Metal Hammer of Doom, and I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radledge. This is the month of October. October, of course, is where we place Halloween. Halloween is the season of costumes and candy and trick-or-treating, and that means here on the Metal Hammer of Doom, it's Covers Month, all month long. We've looked at Power Glove, we've looked at Mystic Prophecy, we're on our third album of the month. This is DevilDriver, Outlaws Till the End, Volume 1, which came out on July 6th, 2018, from Napalm Records. The audience is now on fire. That voice you hear giggling at my nonsense is the one and only Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Let me tell you what happened to me today on the old Facebook. Okay, now I don't know if you saw this because I had to take a picture. Does this have anything to do with MoviePass? No.
Did the people from MoviePass come to your house or give you a sock and a soap and a sock treatment?
No, I made it through their beatings. I will no longer be involved with MoviePass. No, Facebook today decided to throw an ad. Now, I'm sure you get ads all the time there, Mark Radledge. You know, you get on the old Facebook, oh, here's a promoted ad for you. And sometimes it's a little scary because they can hear what you're talking about, you know, and for some reason you were just talking about this yesterday and now I see an ad show up on my Facebook for it. Stuff like that.
So are you getting a lot of ads for robot brothels?
No. Oh. This is the most... I don't know where in the hell and how in the hell this was associated with me, but Walmart... I was trying to figure this shit out because I don't understand it. So Walmart shows this ad, free 2-day shipping and in-store pickup, okay? And I could shop now for a Muslim woman wearing a burqa wall pasting. Okay? Now, let me explain this to you. The picture is of this Muslim woman completely covered in a black burqa, and it's a wall sticky, like one of those life-size wall stickies that you just shove up on your wall, and they have a picture of it amongst, like, behind this person's desk. They're sitting there doing their email, and there's just this fucking picture of a woman, and a Muslim woman in a burqa. Now, who in the fuck would buy a wall covering of that? I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive.
Hang on, I have questions.
Okay.
Is the Muslim wall hanging supposed to be like a scarecrow? Like if you put it up, it scares away all the terrorists?
I don't know. I have no idea what you would need this for.
I'm legitimately asking, why would... I mean...
You were asking the very same questions that I asked myself today.
Let's take this in another direction. Can you see the woman's nipples?
You cannot... Sir, the only thing that you can see, surprisingly, is her eyes. Everything. Everything.
So it's just like full hijab, huh? Like just yes. The eye slits?
Yes, sir. I will gladly send you a picture. You're more than welcome to look at it, or you can hop on my Facebook right now because I took a picture of it.
I've seen enough women in this garb. I don't need a picture of it, but... I asked that second question because I was like, maybe this is like moderately pornographic for people.
Negative.
But, okay, no, nothing, huh?
I don't understand. I have absolutely no idea why someone would buy this. And number two, why was I targeted? What the fuck did I say? What did I do? So I know I've been seeing a lot of like Antifa stuff show up on my feed, but I don't associate women in burqas with Antifa in any way. So, buddy, just be ready. I've seen some odd stuff, but that takes the cake. One of these days you're going to get something weird, and I expect you to share it with me. So,
let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Have you decided to take on more wives?
No. Nothing I've been discussing at any point. I have no idea why this decided to pop up.
If you had been deciding to take on more wives, like, I'm not opposed to the idea of a Muslim wife. I'm opposed to the idea of multiple wives because I can barely handle the one wife that I got, and I don't understand why anyone would want more than one wife.
No, you're just asking for trouble.
No,
there's no sense in even doing that.
No, and I have to wonder, like, why, Jesse, have you suddenly decided to take on multiple wives? What?
I'm not. Despite the rumors that Facebook is apparently trying to spread about me. I am not trying to become a member of a harem, or have a harem, I should say. I'm not becoming a member of a harem. That'd be weird, and obviously things would be flipped.
When did you become polyamorous?
Flintstones changed my life. Go back in the archives, source material, Flintstones. All right, let's get to the topic at hand.
So, DevilDriver came out in the early 2000s, and I think around this time, I was just I may have been bored with the American metal scene. So they're in that pile of bands where I'm just like, meh. I knew they existed, but I never really gave them much of a chance. And I wish I had, because like Clouds Over California now has become like my favorite song. I mean, the video is one thing, but that song is fucking amazing. But I have to admit, prior to this Outlaws to the End, I really hadn't heard much DevilDriver, because they just I just sort of associated them with I associated them with that time in my life where I wasn't listening to a lot of American metal, and I just didn't pay any attention to them. So I'm kind of happy that they put this album out, because this, even though it doesn't take much when it comes to covers, I do love a good covers album. This is pretty damn good, so I'm excited to go through this song by song.
Yeah, DevilDriver for me, I found them, I think, it had to have been 2009, because that was when the album Pray for Villains was released, and I'm certain that at that point in my life I was listening to a lot of Last.fm and also Pandora, so I was trying to curate and curate my metal tastes, and of course things drifted overseas, but also there were some things here in the United States that I'd never heard of, and Pray for Villains shows up, and I'm like, I've got to check these guys out. That was the album. If you guys listen to the Metal Hammer of Doom extras, I mentioned an album that I really liked, and then I didn't kind of stay with them after that. Pray for Villains was the album that I really enjoyed, and I think they had another song after that, and I caught wind of. I liked it, but it didn't make me go out and seek the album. So, man, 2009 is the last time I really dove into a full album by DevilDriver. They're heavy as hell. It's they're a fun band. It's just I'm probably along the lines of you, where they just kind of flew under my radar.
All right. Well, let's not waste any more time. I'm not feeling tremendously great tonight, so I want to get through this, but I also want to give them their due. So let's hear a little bit of DevilDriver tonight. We're going to start off with the lead song here. This is Country Heroes featuring Hank Williams III, and the song was originally recorded by Hank Williams III. Here we go. me ask you a question, Jesse Starcher. I know.
Yes, sir.
I know Robert Cooper has a prejudiced point of view when it comes to country music, and I think that comes from sort of the political culture that surrounds it. Kind of is counter to some of his personal beliefs. I think I think he's been just kind of burned by some of the things that kind of go along with country music. But country music in and of itself, devoid of the politics and devoid of the culture or the cultural politics, I think there's a lot of it that I like. I like the Merle Haggard. I like the Johnny Cash. I like a lot of that outlaw country. Some of the more pop country that sounds more like pop than it does country, I could probably do without. But I can't say, categorically. I mean, the most famous phrase I've heard, besides I liked Metallica up to the Black Album, and then after that is everything is garbage. The most common phrase I've ever heard people talk about when they talk about music is I like everything except country. And I think that's because everyone thinks country is achy breaky heart.
Oh,
don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. But I'm curious, what is your take on country music? Because my take on it ain't half bad, but it ain't half good neither. No, my take on country music is, it's like any other genre of music, whether it be rap or R&B. There's a lot of really strong stuff out there that's appealing, and there's some of it that's hot garbage.
Well, most of the exposure that I've had to country music is unfortunately radio play. Because I don't go out and seek what's on Spotify. I probably would have liked to have heard, or maybe developed a Pandora country list, because I'm kind of right there with you. I like the outlaw stuff, the stuff that is not the same old theme over and over, and I'll touch on that later as we go through here. I like the songs that have a deep, like, either a deep personal meaning to them, whether it be about supernatural things that happen, which is, there's a few things like that happen on this that are covered on this album, or things, somebody trying to deal with the hardships of life. And I'm not talking about just your dog dying and your wife leaving, although that's pretty hard.
No,
there's a lot of other stuff. Go ahead.
Right, it's like your friends in low places. Because I've got friends in lonely places where the whiskey drives and the
Well, can I ask you, did your parents listen to a lot of country music?
No, my father hates white people. No, 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 my father is a fag and a communist, and I grew up with him listening to folk music and Broadway show tunes.
Oh, wow, that's right.
That's my dad. And my mom, was into 50s doo-wop.
No kidding.
Ooh wah, ooh wah, ooh wah, ooh wah. Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? And then, why do they fall in love? Real quick side story. We bought my parents tickets to like a 50s show, and it was held at a hotel here in Florida, here in the Tampa Bay area, but it was like a very old boutique hotel, and I knew all the words to all the 50 songs, and I was singing along and dancing because, what am I going to do? What am I going to like?
Yeah, you're going to be like just a big stump on the wall or whatever.
Right.
You're going to sit there. You're going to enjoy yourself.
Right. We bought it for my parents, but I'm not going to be a sourpuss about the whole thing. I'm going to enjoy myself. My mother was like, how do you know? Like, do you remember all of these songs? And I'm like, well, you played them every single day of my life. I grew up, I mean, like a typical Saturday was my mother would get up in the morning, she'd eat breakfast, and then she'd crank the 50s music and clean the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I will tell you, okay, my dad, born in roots in West Virginia. So country music is rather prominent here. So I would go over to my dad's on the weekends. My mom and dad separated when I was very young. So I'd go over to dad's on the weekends, and it wasn't nothing to hear some Eddie Rabbitt. It wasn't nothing to hear some, possibly some Alan Jackson, George Jones, Merle Haggard. There a lot of the artists that are on here, Hank Williams Jr., are stuff that I grew up listening to, and I associated a lot with my father. Now, my father, I've mentioned before on the podcast, he's also a big classic rock fan. But there was a moment in time where I can remember easily going over to his house and the country music was blaring. I don't hold it in contempt because there are some great country songs. Didn't you share like a Whitey Ford? Not Whitey Ford. Shit.
No,
who was? Was it Whitey Ford?
It was Whitey Morgan.
Whitey Morgan. That he had an album that came out at least maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, and it was spectacular.
Yeah.
And I listened to that, and I thought to myself, I'm listening to a country album, and I really enjoyed it, and it's newer country. Gavin Napier is probably the guy to go to if you want to talk about some classic country as well. I see him share a lot of things in regards to, some of the more country that I probably would gravitate towards as well. But yeah, man, I don't hate it. I'm certainly not in that mind. As a matter of fact, I can remember when my daughter was born, I felt like I was kind of gravitating, like, all right, hey, it's time to set the fast-paced stuff to the wayside and give country a chance. Your daughter's born. You don't want to be this crazy metalhead guy for the rest of your life. That lasted about 2 years, Mark Radlich. So I can tell you probably a lot of the songs from 2005 to about 2007, 2008 that were played on the radio. But yeah, hey, country heroes. Let me just say real quick about this first song. I think that as far as the sound goes,
it took an hour and a half to get going.
I didn't like the way it sounded for an opener, but I'll tell you right now, subject matter wise, you've got Hank Williams. This is a Hank Williams 3 song. All right. Have you ever listened to much of what he's put out, or have you ever followed his career or know much about him?
Fucking in the bud, fucking in the bud, fucking in the bud. No, that's a different guy. That's David Allan Coe. So
we'll be talking about him later. Genres for, if you take a look at Hank Williams 3 on Wikipedia, genres that he sings: country, heavy metal, punk rock, and comedy country as well. So he also, obviously, the third in a generation of country singers. He talks about some of the stuff that he saw with his own dad growing up, and I think it's a great way to kind of set the album subject matter wise. Hey, we're going to be talking about some of our country heroes as we go through here, and there are a lot of them, big names that these guys cover. So I thought it was a great opener when it comes to like, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about.
And to that I have to say, bop a bop a bop 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 a bop a bop a dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon.
Blue moon.
You saw me standing alone. All right, let's move on to this next one. This is one of my favorites on here. This features some members of the old Lamb of God, Randy Blythe and Mark Morton. This is a Willie Nelson ditty. This shit's called Whiskey River.
Whiskey River, take my mind. Going out of every corner of me. Whiskey River, cold and dry. Your life can't take care of me. Whiskey River, take my mind.
shit. Whiskey River.
Take my mind. You know, DevilDriver, I respect them for wanting to do this album, okay? A lot of respect for that. But for some reason, I can't just help but think song 2 here is the beginning in a long line of them almost kind of overcompensating with the metal when it comes to doing these covers. I was not a fan of that cover right there. I don't know. Remember how I said a long time ago that, oh boy, I love covers, especially when the band makes it their own. Well, I don't know if it's just because I'm not liking the way that they're doing things here, but if DevilDriver is making these songs their own, I'm not a fan of how they did Whiskey River. What about you?
I actually like that one. I think it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite ones on here. But that, again, I'm not as familiar with the original, so it's not like I have a basis of comparison. But the other side of that is, it's such a drum-driven track, and that's what I liked about it. I would say where the drumming is really heavy, and the tempo is super thrashy and upbeat, I tend to like it more.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Things are running together when they. One of the words I used here was overblown and unnecessarily filled with metal, and I don't know if that can happen in this album as much as it did with that song.
Look, I'm going to tell you, I don't love every track on here. There's a couple on here I'm just like, not so much. But this isn't one of them. I disagree with you, sir. Okay. I enjoyed the pace and the tempo, and especially the drumming of this one.
Yeah, the drumming, just kind of to jump off of that, I think that is probably one of the most outstanding parts throughout all this album. Is the drums are on point and take center stage a lot of times.
All right, let's move on. Let's not belabor the point. I feel like this next one I wasn't a huge fan of. We'll see. I've listened to it a couple of times. We'll see how I feel about it now. Listen to it now. This is... Hang on. This is Outlaw Man by the Eagles. Giving it up to the Hotel California. Woo! So, my wife made me watch the Goldbergs tonight.
All right.
You ever watch it?
No, I haven't watched it. I'll catch it on Hulu tomorrow, probably.
No, I'm saying, like, do you watch the show regularly?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, I never have.
Okay. It is full of 80s references, sir.
It really is.
It takes place in the 80s, but regardless, they don't hold back on that shit.
No, I know, like, The Ultimate Warrior was on one show. I've heard, like, I know, I'm aware of what the show is. It's just, I'm not a big... I'm gonna be dead before the end of the show.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a big fan of sitcoms in general. Like, you know, there's been a few that I've stuck with. You know, I got introduced to like Modern Family. I've stuck with Big Bang Theory. I've stuck with, but I rode the How I Met Your Mother train to the bitter end. But I'm just not a huge fan of sitcoms unless there's something, you know, like the Roseanne revival I was into, and I wanted to talk about it with Ronnie, but we never got to go. And then the idiot fucking tweet something she shouldn't have, and then got herself fired. You know, but I am watching The Connors anyway. But you know, my wife and I, you know, in a rare moment when my wife decided to actually stay up till 8:30 instead of going to bed at 8:00. We watched TV together, and I'm like, I'm not going to make her watch Black Lightning or anything like that, or The Deuce.
Okay.
So she's like, hey, why don't we watch The Goldbergs together? I'm like, whatever. It's 30 minutes of my life. How bad could this possibly be? Well, this particular episode was about, the kid. The mom's like trying to guilt the kid into letting her chaperone one of his field trips, and he's trying to do what teenagers do, which is cleave himself from his mom, from the teat. Yep. Mm-hmm. And and I didn't realize Patton Oswalt was the narrator of the show, but Patton Oswalt talked to and then my wife sort of seconded there just comes a point where your kids kind of cut you as much out of their life as they can. They become withdrawn. They're not so much into wanting to talk to their parents, and it's a big you really have to try and struggle to get anything out of your kids. And I got to tell you, I got a little upset. Yeah. I right now I have two kids who won't ever shut the fuck up. Or when I've got one that won't shut the fuck up, and another one I'm not entirely sure what the hell she's trying to tell me half the time. So just as soon, I have this fear that just as soon as they're going to get interesting, like Sean Connery said to Harrison Ford in The Last Crusade, it's just like, you left just as soon as you were becoming interesting. Like, they're finally going to be really fun to talk to and really interesting, and then they're not going to want to talk to me anymore. And that made me sad.
Yeah. That's one of the sucky parts about being a parent. I'm a 13-year-old girl. I can remember it was probably around 10 years old. She spent more time in her room. And then when she came out, we made it a big deal. Oh, hey, Kira's here. Oh, sit down, Kira. Talk to us a little bit. Nope, I'm good. All right, see you later.
She promptly gave you all the finger.
Last night she surprised us. She came and sat down in the middle of the living room. She said, I was bored and I thought I'd come out here and talk to you guys. Oh, well, that's good. How's things been going? How's life? How's them K-pops going? But yes, yeah, buddy, it's sad when you get older and the kids get older, but the Goldbergs, man, it is like probably one of the more family-oriented like comedies that are out there. The Middle, by the way, it's ended its run there a few years back, and it was last year, and it was a great like family comedy. So I would suggest that if you have the opportunity to watch the Goldbergs, you'd probably appreciate it. And enjoy yourself. They're shit, man. They got like fucking, I think they're on season 5 or season 6 now. So there's a lot to catch up on if you ever want to go back and watch it. But where were we going with that? What made us jump on that?
I don't know. I
have no idea. Just felt like talking about it.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I liked the song. I liked Outlaw Man.
Yeah.
I think for me, what ended up happening was a lot of it was sort of running together as I was listening to it. So, I occasionally, I think something would come on this album, and I was like, I'm not so crazy about this. And then, like, Copperhead Row would come on, and I'd listen to it on repeat 10 times before moving on. So, I just, Outlaw Man was good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, same here. This was probably the first standout track for me that made me go, oh, okay, this has got some promise. I think there's some great riffs in here. They scale back the screaming a bit in the vocals, which that made me take a little bit more of a shine to it, I guess you would say. So, yeah, I dug Outlaw Man as well.
All right, this next one we did a Metal Hammer of Doom Extra for. This is the one they did a video for. The video is shit. This is
It's like ho hum every other video. Here we go. We're in the studio.
Oh, look, they're playing in the studio. How novel. This here is a Johnny Cash song. It is called Ghost Riders in the Sky. So, I don't know how I feel about that one. I think on the one hand, I'm like, man, it's all right. You know, it's pretty good. On the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. I think I definitely have a preference for DevilDriver's music, and like if the pace slows a little too much, I'm like, not into this. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to be this slow.
I for some reason this one made me realize that I have issues with the production of this album.
Really?
Like, I don't know if it just feels like things are muddled. Nothing seems to like really stick out to me. And when it comes to like, we got to get the metal in, we got to get our shit in. It just seems like they're trying everything at once, and it just does not. It feels like it needs to be cleaner. I hate to say that because a lot of times you don't want something that's overproduced, but when you're covering a song, I feel like, man, you need something to kind of set the audience in a mode to understand that you're covering this iconic song. There's no doubt about it that this is Ghost Riders in the Sky. This Ghost Riders in the Sky, by the way, Mark Radulich, has to be one of the most covered country songs ever. And let me tell you something. I'm looking at the wiki right now. Versions in various genres have also been made by the following artists: Carlos Malcolm, never heard of him; All American Boys Chorus, Boston Pops Orchestra, Chrome Division, Dean Martin, DevilDriver, Dixie Chicks, Fred Penner, Kaleidoscope, Marty Robbins, Mary McCaslin, R.E.M., Shebin.
What?
What? R.E.M.?
Yeah. No.
Well, let's find out. Let's head to the Spotify. I'm telling you, it says R.E.M. Let me take a look. Ghost Riders in the Sky. All right, so we're looking for songs. See all. And... ooh. They got jeez Louise. I'm looking for REM and I do not see him. Let's sort by artist here. Go down to the R's. And, well, it's not showing up here, Mark. Not on Spotify anyway. Might have to go to the YouTubes. I don't know. But, hey, they got them here. It also says the rest of these, I don't know. You ever heard of the Vocal Majority? Never heard of them. But, and Yoon Sun Na? Never heard of them either.
Are you saying words?
You son na. REM. Oh, come on. I'm at the YouTubes. If anything, YouTube's got it. REM Ghost Ghost Riders in the Sky. And I bet you it's like number 15, 1984, Boca Raton, Florida. So they must have covered it at concerts. Interesting. You can check that out on YouTube. And yeah, that's right.
I am a glutton for punishment.
Why? Are you looking for it right now, or what's going on? What do you mean?
No. So, in a bipolar, like, manic moment, I put out on Facebook, if anyone has never done a podcast with me before, and you want to be a guest and talk about the chilling adventures of Sabrina, which hasn't even come out yet on Netflix. It comes out October 26th. Like, I'll be more than happy to have you on, and give you an opportunity to talk about the show. Because I figured none of the guys I know would want to do this. But I was curious about it, and I figured, okay, let's see if there's a girl out there who takes the bait. Well, one did. It happens to be our good friend on the Source Material podcast, Alexis
Hana.
Yeah.
All right.
No, not you, Echo. So she wrote me back on Facebook. She was like, she sent me a little gif of a cat begging, saying, please, please, please. So I said, all right, sure. Let's do it. So I scheduled it for November. I'm literally every day except Thanksgiving on Thursday. I'm working. I'm doing 4 podcasts a week.
And you wanted to avoid that at one point, I thought.
Yep, still do.
You just need to step away from the schedule, okay?
I do. I've become addicted. I've become addicted to scheduling.
I know how much you like to fill spots, all right? Speaking of sticking your dick in things. You do not need to schedule every day, sir. Take a day off. Enjoy it with the family. But I do agree. I think that would actually be a fun podcast to listen to. Alexis Hana is always a great guest.
Indeed, indeed. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This is Johnny Paycheck. I'm the only hell mama ooh, ever raised. All right. It's enough of that. That one started to go a little to the death metal side of things. Mm-hmm. So here's what I figured out about DevilDriver. When they've got a good groove going, I really like them. Like, okay, I don't know why I waited so long to get into this band. I dig them. When the needle starts to get towards the more death metal side of things, with that blast beat drumming and all of that, not as much into them. Like this is a band sorely in need of rhythm.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's why those songs I shared with you earlier tonight, those were probably the best representation off of that Pray for Villains album. I think that were what I wanted to hear off of here. I wanted to hear those type of songs, but we get something like this that's. Man, my notes here was it's just too damn busy. We got all sorts of shit happening. Death metal, blast beats, all that stuff is just like brrr, right in your face.
Stick 'em.
Not exactly, but we'll roll with it. But yes, it's.
How about this one?
Wasn't
bow, my 7 bizzos.
No idea. I have no idea.
You've never heard my 7 bizzos?
Is this a Jay-Z song?
No.
Okay.
This precedes Jay-Z. I believe, and I'm going to look it up now, but I want to say that's 2 Live Crew. Remember 2 Live Crew?
Yeah, I remember 2 Live Crew.
What can I get for $10? Or was it $2 or $10? What can I get for $2? Anything you want. Anything? Anything. Big tings.
Big tings. Big tings, baby. Oh,
My 7... You know, my dad got me that album when I was in elementary school for having a good report card.
Wow, you pulled one over him.
No, he honestly did not give a shit.
He didn't?
No. He was,
Very
because as long as I didn't... his rule was as long as he didn't have to listen to it, he didn't care what I listened to. So, yeah, I was in elementary school, and I had 2 live crews, as nasty as they want to be, and I am correct. That is Brother Marquise's side, my 7 bizzos.
Nice. First ever explicit lyric album that I was able to convince my mom to get me was Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999. I can remember the day, Mark Radulich, when I was down in Florida. I think it was 1995, 94 or 95, and I went to a Kmart not too far from my grandpa's there over in Titusville, and by golly, I got myself an East 1999 Bone Thugs and Harmony album. Wonderful stuff.
My 7 bizzos. 7 days, 7 ways, that's too much. My 7 bizzos.
What the fuck? 7? Is bizzos a slang term for bitches?
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay, all right. White guys figure out slang. Right here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network.
On Monday, there's Melissa. I like to be with her. I get all
Yes.
the money, and then I diss her.
Oh, damn. That's hardcore.
On Tuesdays, there's Teresa. She's my homeroom teacher. She said after school, I would like to meet you.
This is such juvenile fucking lyrics. Oh, that's hilarious, though.
There's more to the story with Teresa, by the way.
Oh, boy. She's the teacher?
Yep. Yeah.
Hotsy-totsy.
Brother Marquise is hot for teacher. I said bet with no regret because a night with her was one I wouldn't forget. So then I told all my homies and they all called me phony. And I said I was kicking a bunch of that baloney.
Now.
That's what it says here.
All right, then.
But they soon found out and now they all believe because every Tuesday after school me and her would leave. Mm-hmm. My 7 bizzos. Yeah. Apparently, as the song goes, he has a bizzo for every day of the week.
You need to recite 2 Live Crew lyrics like you do Dr. Seuss. And then things would catch fire right here on the network.
Let me share with you Sunday, and then we'll move on from this bit. Okay. On Sunday, there's Connie, who fucks with slick Ronnie. She's a tricky dick bitch who's out for his money.
Well, I know what's coming up on the next source material. Ronnie Adams, be ready, buddy.
Hey, Ronnie, we heard you're fucking with a bizzo named Connie. Talk to us about this, Ronnie. Why are you fucking with bizzos?
I don't know what you mean. That means nothing to me.
Have you told him that his nickname is now Human Shield?
No, I have not. And I think he's probably figured it out. Wonderful.
I'm now very much obsessed with the lyrics of this song. All right.
Moving on to the album we're covering tonight, which is not the Live Crew.
All right. Moving on to the next thing here. Let's move on down. Ease on down the road.
You know what?
Sir.
DevilDriver covering 2 Live Crew songs.
Yes. Can we get Outlaws to the end, but it's all like gangster rap?
Please. Do it.
DevilDriver covering Eazy-E.
Oh my gosh, man! Fuck the police from it would just be unreal.
Yes, I need to hear DevilDriver doing "Let's Get Buck Naked and Fuck."
Stranger things have happened, I'm sure.
I've told you about that one, right? That's an Ice-T song from his second album.
Okay, all right. I know a little bit of early Ice-T. Which, by the way, I made my daughter listen to Black Hoodie.
I swear to God, I thought you said you made your daughter listen to "Let's Get Buck Naked and Fuck." I'm like, but why?
Sir, no, I made her listen to Black Hoodie. I was like, do you recognize who this is? And it took her a few seconds, but she figured it out. She's a big Law and Order fan. Yes, my daughter likes Law and Order and the SVU and all that stuff, 13 years old. But she figured it out. It was Ice-T. I was like, good job, kid, good job.
Hey, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Can we accommodate Miss Hana and move the Metal Hammer of Doom that week to Thursday and flip it with this TV party I'm going to do with her?
I don't care. Yeah, I'm sure I have nothing planned.
Okay. Ghost
Nothing planned.
Riders in the sky. All right. So yeah, with that, so we'll be doing Soulfly November 8th.
Oh boy.
Can we do the 7th? Yes, we can.
Listen, as we cannot multitask.
Shut up.
Don't worry, I suffer the same fate, sir. I can't multitask for shit.
Shut up, you face. All right. All right, this next one is a George Jones song. This features Wednesday 13. I don't know who Wednesday 13 is. Maybe it's from the Addams Family. This is If Drinking Don't Kill Me, Her Memory Will. This is that. I don't even know the lyrics of this one, but I can tell you that is exactly the kind of thing that people make fun of when it comes to country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Here we go, yo. All right, Jesse Starcher, what do you think of that one?
Well, let me just tell you real quick.
Stick 'em.
Wednesday 13. You ever heard of the Murder Dolls?
I have.
He is the front man. Also goes by Joseph Michael Poole. Apparently that's his actual name. He's known for his solo career, and he is known for being the front man for the Murder Dolls. So there you go. Now, as for the most classic country song I think we have on here. I mean, there are some recognizable ones, but when I say classic, my notes a couple songs ago was praising about how DevilDriver was kind of sticking to those outlaw songs of country that talk about, like I said, the supernatural, or the fact that, you know, this guy is an actual outlaw, things like that. Here we have a dude that's drinking because he wants to forget. He wants to forget his long-lost love, whether it be his ex-wife, his ex-girlfriend, something along those lines. And that represents the Trinity. You lost your dog, you lost your wife, you lost your truck. Let's sing about it. But regardless, their cover of it's heavy as hell. It's not one of my favorites, but it's them covering the classic country trope here.
All right, this next one is a Johnny Cash song. Johnny Cash is the man, and the man comes around.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
There's a man going around taking names, and he decides who to free and who to play. Everybody will be treated on the same. To be a golden ladder reaching down. When a man comes around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, the hairs on your arm will stand up. At the terror in each step and in each side.
Okay, now if DevilDriver, by the way, that featured Lee Ving of Fear. If DevilDriver were playing a concert, that song would be the exact moment that a circle pit started.
Ah, yeah, buddy. Oh yeah,
that song was made for circle pitting.
And I put my notes in here. DevilDriver made this song theirs. This is like, oh shit. Here it comes. And you cannot beat a song that starts quoting Revelations. And that just hands down makes it something that I'm probably going to check out. So, yeah, the man comes around. It's a spooky song, It's about death and taking names and taking people, taking souls. So it's a good one, man, and it's heavy as shit.
Yeah, it is. All right. Let's move on to the next one here. We're going to start zipping through some of these. This is 1,000 miles away. I just can't wait anymore.
No.
Miles away.
No.
How about 1,000 miles from nowhere?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, that's the one I couldn't stand. Sorry, Dwight Yoakam. Sorry, DevilDriver. That one, I wouldn't have minded a few less songs. Start with that one.
I would say that this is probably the most faithful when it comes to actually covering what the original song sounded like.
Is that what you want, though? Metal?
No. I'm actually supporting what you're saying here because we actually have a metal band covering a country song that slows it down to sound like, as close to country as you can get. I don't like that either. And it's a unique song for them to pick as well. It seemed like of all the ones that we've heard so far, this one just doesn't fit right in there. So I'm right there with you, man. I don't know if this one belongs here.
No.
They may have – there may be some kind of significance as to why they chose this song. This song came out in the 90s. Dwight Yoakam –
it was just somebody in the band really likes it. Hey, I've pitched you on Cracker a few times. Have you ever actually listened to him?
Probably some of the stuff you've shared, but I don't know if I've listened to much anything else.
It's okay. Not enough to really recall or give an opinion.
Probably not.
You really should though. Like you should spend a day at work just listening to some Cracker album. At least the first couple up through a Golden Age. I think they peaked with the Golden Age, and they also have their own covers album, which is pretty fun. Up against the wall, redneck mother. That's one of the ones they do.
Okay.
But as far as the old alt-country scene, the little-known alt-country scene, they were one of the pioneers of it. They were certainly the most mainstream, and they're really one of my favorite bands. As far as country bands go, you don't get much better than Cracker, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Anything else about this Dwight Yoakam cover?
Just doesn't fit, man. Dwight Yoakam, hey, he's respectable enough. Wasn't he in Sling Blade? Was that his? Like, he was in Sling Blade as well, wasn't he?
What's a Sling Blade?
Yeah, you don't know what Sling Blade is? You're kidding me, right?
I've never seen it.
With fucking Billy Bob Thornton, them sweet fried, them French fried taters. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, Mark Radlich! I can't believe I'm making a reference to something that you haven't seen in the movies.
I was going to ask you if the beer's in cans.
Wait a second. All right then. Well, okay, we can move on then.
All right, so this next one features Brock Lesnar. No, Brock Lindau.
Oh, shit. No wonder you like it so much.
This next one features Brock Lindau of 36 Crazy Fists, who also did a cover of their own, which I liked, and Jesse can suck a dick over. This is Renegades. You remember that? Remember I played Renegades for you, and you didn't like it, and you hurt my feelings?
Probably so. Sorry, I apologize.
That one cover show has affected me so much.
It went down in infamy, never be forgotten.
Nope. Anyway, well, the singer of 36 Crazy Fists, or wait, is he the singer? Who knows?
I've got the wiki here. What they say here?
Brock Lindau of 36 Crazy Fists.
We'll find out. Give me a second. Brock Lindau is the vocalist.
Yay!
Hooray!
Anyway, he's featured on quite possibly the best song on here. This song actually got a lot of play on Sirius Satellite Radio. That's where I first heard it. It's the fucking jam. It's the Clouds Over California of this album. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cover of Steve Earle's motherfucking Copperhead Road. Oh my God, that's one I just didn't want it to end. I didn't want to stop playing it. It's so.
Yeah, you probably had to remind yourself. Got to hit stop. If they would have fucked this song up, I would have wished that the Spectre of Death from Clouds Over California revisited them in their studio. You know?
Don't make me laugh. It hurts. This is a perfect song. It's the best. It's really one of the best songs on here. It's so good. I really enjoy Brock Lindau's contribution to the vocals.
Yes.
This got repeated listens from me all this week as I was prepping for this podcast.
Oh, man. I wanted to hop in the 2000 Saturn, head on down to Whitey's, order some fried mushrooms, play some pool, throw it on the jukebox. It takes me back to when before I had kids and was able to go to the bar when I wanted to with my wife and just hang out with my buddy, because this has that nostalgic feel for me, because this song was on the jukebox every time we went down there. We had I should probably make a Whitey's playlist. That, Black Betty, fucking there was all sorts of great stuff that was always played when we were down there.
You know, I'm actually not familiar with Copperhead Road.
Really, the Steve Earle version?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay. Well, man, I tell you what, and if you listen to the lyrics, it's a great story that's being told. It's about this guy, 3 generations.
He was driving down Copperhead Road,
doing illegal shit. All right, and not only that, like it starts out, I think his grandpa was a moonshiner, and he evolves the business. I don't know if it's in opiates or whatever. He takes the seed from Colombia, so it could either be, I don't know, it could be something along those lines. And
if it's from Colombia, it's more than likely cocaine.
It could possibly be marijuana as well, because he's growing the stuff he's growing the crops along Copperhead Road, and the final part of it is about a DEA chopper's in the air, and he goes, I've learned a few things from Charlie, don't you know? Motherfucker's getting ready to, he set landmines out to protect his property and shit. It is a great song. Great song. So I'm glad I think they did a great job with this one, but I'm going to make an argument that the next song we hit is better.
No.
Well, I told you, I want to make an argument, so be ready.
If it's the song after that one, sure, I get that, and I have an argument to make there. But if it's this next one, Dad's going to kill me, I was actually going to say I could live without this song.
No, well, then
entirely.
You're incorrect, and I can't wait to talk to you about it and tell you why you're wrong.
So, have you ever watched The Wire? I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about it before, but it's the best show in the history of television.
From what I've heard, yes.
Steve Earle's in The Wire.
Oh, is he really? That's cool.
Yeah, he's Bubbles' sponsor.
That means everything to me.
Bubbles is the crackhead snitch.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm sure that Copperhead Road probably garnered some attention, and then they thought, well, this guy, he knows all about it, and threw him in the show. So,
sure,
is he any good?
I mean, he's fine. He plays, he's playing an ex-junkie who's trying to help out his friend.
Okay.
Down on Copperhead Road.
Brilliant.
All right, this next song sucks. Here we go. This is featuring Burton C. Bell of Fear Factory. This is Dad's Gonna Kill Me, but for writing a terrible song by Richard Thompson.
Incorrect again. No, don't you even come out of that acting like it's a fucking chore to get through it.
Dad's gonna kill me. I'd rather go back to Fear Factory. Jesus Christ.
Negative. Let me tell you a little something about this song. First off, I think it has some of the best riffs off of this album. Okay, if you compare some of the other songs, this has got some catchy shit going on.
Not better than Copperhead Road.
Okay. Now, if you take a deeper look into the lyrics, I've never heard this song before, okay? First off, it was catchy to me. And then I was like, okay, what is this song about? Because obviously this dude, is he crying about, did he do something wrong? He pissed off his father. His father's going to whip his ass. No. That is not what this song is about at all. This song is about a guy who gets shipped over, I assume, over to, he's fighting in the desert in a war. Because one of the lyrics says, "Old Alibaba, he's a different species. Nobody loves me here. Nobody loves me here." And he just, most of the verses are about some of the horrors of war. That happened. He says, one of the things he says, "I'm dead meat in my Humvee Frankenstein. I hit the roadblock. God knows I never hit the mine. The dice rolled and I got lucky this time. Dad's going to kill me." And so it's not about his father in any way. He's actually, my guess is he's talking about probably the United States, but whatever country sent him to fight this war. And that is the crux of the whole song. So I think this, combined with how it sounds and the subject matter that it approaches, it stands out to me as probably the best gem off of this album.
I hear you, and I'm going to respect your decision. I mean, people, you like what you like,
That's
whatever.
right. Yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't grab me. It doesn't tickle my sack.
No, the sack is not tickled?
The sack was not tickled, sir.
The nuts are still hanging. Okay.
This left my sack wanting.
Seven muzzle monkeys standing in a row, waiting for the sandbox to blow.
Listen, I think these are great lyrics in need of a better song.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, I mean, if we're going to go ahead and set aside our argument for that, the next song is probably my most recognized country song ever.
So I want to talk about this before we play the song, right?
Okay.
What I really like about this song, right? What I think is awesome is because of the way that it's done. It's not just a song; it's a proclamation.
That's right.
This is sung with victory, standing on top of a mountain.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the song is prideful to begin with, but done, as a metal song, it's downright rebellious.
I'm picking up what you're putting down there for sure.
All right. This is a well-known rocker and rebel rouser, Hank Williams Jr. This is a motherfucking country boy can survive.
Country boy can't survive. Country
Oh my goodness! You know, we heard Kid Rock do that. We've heard John Denver do that. I I'm not the most jingoistic person, but I hear that and I am proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Ah, my man. Let me tell you, 1982, this thing comes out, hits number 2 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. Okay, and I can remember that year. Dude, I'm 5 years old, and I can remember listening to that song right around that time.
And you had a flagpole erection with the American flag coming right out your dick, right?
Man. Country has got such a weird, like, nostalgic thing for me because I don't listen to it nowadays, but back when I was a kid, it surrounded me. I remember my grandpa, he listened to Hank Williams Jr., and still to this day, you go down and visit him in Florida. Speaking of Titusville, Florida, you go down and visit him to this day. I'm sure he's probably still has his 8 tracks of fucking shit from back then. But if this song was not on this album, I mean, it would be an absolute cardinal sin because this deserves a metal treatment. Whether you like the cover or not, it is, just like you said, a declaration. And it is probably the most recognized country song for me.
Donald Trump needs to like name this as his re-election campaign song. Granted, he is not a country boy.
That motherfucker is so far from the country. No way.
Dude, if he walks out if he's like in Tennessee or like West Virginia or whatever, and he just comes out to like the DevilDriver version of A Country Boy Can't Survive, the election's over.
Oh yeah,
landslide.
Call it right in.
All 50 states.
All 50 states. Wait a second, he just walked out. Okay, done.
And he's not wearing any pants, just an American flag underwear.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Or at least he knows he's free. All right, I'm getting tired. I love that.
We made our way through it, man. We got one more to go, right?
Yeah, yep. No, I'm saying I'm getting tired, so let's hit this last one and start to get out of here. But yeah, man, we only went down a few rabbit holes tonight. We mostly stayed on track, and I've enjoyed this album. Like I said, I'm not in love with Dad's Gonna Kill Me, and I'm not in love with 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. But the rest of it's been great, and I've had a good time listening to it. So here we go. This is good old fucking in the butt, David. David Allan Coe, baby. Fucking in the butt, fucking in the butt, fucking in the butt. This is not fucking in the butt. This is The Ride. it's a long, hard ride, baby.
That's a spooky song right there, and it definitely is a good pick for this album.
Yep.
It's about a hitchhiker on his way down and runs into the ghost of Hank Williams Sr. Scary stuff.
It took a little while to get going there, but once it did, it rocks out with its cock out, which I like. That's important to me. Always rock out with your cock out, Jesse Starcher.
Every day.
People
at work don't even know it.
People, you know what? people are always trying to tell you to put your cock away. That's un-American.
That's right, buddy.
Okay, we are a country that rocks out with our cock out, and as far as that goes, I'm going to give this album A-.
A-. Nice grade there from Mark Radulich. I'll tell you right now, the album as a whole, it has some hits but more misses for me. If anything, it made me actually want to go back and listen to the originals as well. I once floated the idea through my head, like maybe I could convince Mark to play the original and then play the cover. And I was like, I don't want to be here for 3 hours, and Mark won't last that long.
Nope.
So I know that shit ain't happening. But I love the fact that it introduced Dad's Gonna Kill Me to myself. That really put it up there for me. But there isn't a whole lot that I'm probably going to come back and listen to, other than maybe to share it with some friends that either dig country and metal, or just for the novelty of the fact that, hey, we have a country song being covered by a really heavy metal band. And they got a unique sound to them. So I'm glad I had the chance to listen to it. Took me down memory lane, and I'm ready to get out of here, man, if you are.
All right, hang on 1 second here, because I just saw something, and I need to hear this now.
Uh-oh. All right.
Hang on. Give me a second here. Speaking of covers. Colors. Colors. Covers.
Somebody get a hold of Ice-T.
It
was Ice-T that did that, right? Was it Ice-T?
Hell yeah.
Making sure.
Hang on, googly.
Well, I'm on edge as to what the hell is going to hit my ear holes here in a second. That sounds good.
Hang on. God damn it.
You done flip-flapped something, didn't you?
Flip-flopped and flied.
Flip-flopped and flied all over the computer. Your settings are all whip-japped.
Okay, hang on. I think I got it now. No. Come on. See, the problem is my computer is just mad slow.
Mad slow.
Mad love.
Well, Colton is making his way down the stairs here. Well, what do you have a whole loaf of bread in your hand? Okay, what would you like, sir? You want a piece of bread? You like bread? He loves bread. He eats it every day. That's what he's here to say. He loves bread. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, you do love bread. You eat it all the time. Hold on. I'm going to give you this back. But not with the crust. Of course not. I don't want the crust. Put it in the trash, man. Oh, yeah, give it to Caleb. He'll chew it right up. That's okay, good. Bow, down, bow. I like the way that sounds, by the way, so I can't wait to hear it all.
All right, let's try this. Hang on. Live, everybody.
Oh, woo! You thought the show was ending. We got news for you.
Okay. So, what I was trying to play was Whitey Morgan's cover of Just Got Paid.
Oh, yes.
But I can't get it to fucking work on here.
What did you do? Is it not like in Spotify or something? Or why can't you play
it is, but like my computer is just not. Look, for whatever reason, like the interface between the desktop Spotify, like if it's playing sometimes it's slower than normal, and when it's like this, it just everything just fights me. Like it won't do anything.
Damn it is. Let me look at something here real quick. Just got paid today. Oh my goodness.
So I tried maybe queuing it from my phone, but then playing it through my computer, and everything just went brack.
What are you trying to do to me? Oh, there it is. Let me see if just by chance. Let me look here. Let me go to the old da 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 da. Hold on a second. All right. Give me a. And we'll do. I doubt that's going to work. Tell me if you hear anything.
No. Nope. Don't
Nothing.
No, that was a lot of silence, my friend.
Well, I can't change it. I can't change it to what I usually do here, which is change my microphone over to whatever the thing is. So anyway, well,
yeah,
regardless,
and now the fucking Spotify's doing like the giant spinning thing. It's this. Well, this is a fucking nightmare, and now I just want to end the show, Jesse.
Well, you want to plug first? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, just go give the Radulich in Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. All sorts of great stuff on the network. We talk about MMA, we talk about wrestling, we talk about comics, TV, movies, all those great pop culture touchstones, I guess you would say, out there. So if there's most likely something in the archive that you like, you can find us on Spreaker. That's our home. You can find us on TuneIn Radio. You can find us on all sorts of other YouTube. We're on YouTube. And don't forget Spotify. We're also on Spotify as well. And your regular old iTunes platform. Just type in RADULICH. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And you can stay up on top of all the great things that we will shoot right into your ear holes. Mark Radulich, let's turn it over to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had enough of this happy horse shit. We'll be back next week. Next week is Burn the Priest, otherwise known as Lamb of God. Be well, be safe, and behave.